Good morning. In comments, I think the best place we got to was that something's going to change. This is what we're talking about, this universal basic income, is because things are changing and people will be needed to be paid for doing nothing. But why? And the why is because machines are going to come and take everyone's job. And if you're born into the world, you're educated and reach the age of 20 and you say, well, I'm willing to work, I'll do a job, and there are no jobs for you, it's not really fair that you should starve to death because you've actually done nothing wrong. So the world should take care of you because you happen to have arrived in a world that hasn't got anything for you to do. Where we got to in comments was basically all of modern human history, let's say 10,000 years. All we know is to earn your daily bread, you must go out to work. Bread, work, earn it. There have, of course, been exceptions to this rule. The offspring of rich people, etc., etc. There are always exceptions to everything. But the principle for most everybody has always been to eat, you have to earn. Earning is working. And it's just the only system we have. And to expect that to be in any way turned over 10,000 years of everything that we are by an idea like UBI that, oh no, we'll just give people money because, well, got no work for them, machines are doing the work. It should be enough to make people realise it's not just Nick and his complications of financial blah that he went on about yesterday that is the sticky in the whole idea. The whole idea is sticky. It's one of these things where we have mental channels that we go down, and to get out of these mental channels is very rare, because you either have to be the sort of person that was born as a bit of a maverick and to then have got into a position of power, which is not easy as a maverick anyway, and then start bumping other people's channels around, or something has to happen in life where all the people in power get bumped around and have to do something that bumps people out of their channels, because politicians know that the last thing you want to do is to upset people. People do not like being upset. So I likened it to, if we could have an enlightened, a big zap from an alien spaceship and everybody gets enlightened at the same time, to have a new way of thinking, as I likened it to some people drive on the left-hand side of the road and it's decided that it's best to drive on the right side of the road. It's got to be done in one hit. There's no, over the next 20 years, let's just start driving on the left and the right and we'll sort it out. It'll be all right. And this is the same for not working and being paid for it. It's just not going to happen. It's going to be a disaster happening gradually. It sounds as though, because we know the big hit's not going to happen. We're not going to get zapped by an alien spaceship. So it's got to happen gradually. So we think, well, like most things, when they happen gradually, it'll be all right. It won't be all right, because what we've got is an entire fundamental thing that goes back thousands of years. And you can't just tweaky that. It's just not going to be right. It isn't going to happen. How should I finish this? I think I can't round it off neatly without going on and on, so I'll just do a short one, but it won't be as rounded as I would have liked it. We have to put into context what we've got going on in our Western world. Is that this thing, let's say since the 70s, is a bit price of oil, as in when we had free oil to do things flourished. And then we had cheap labour from China, and we could afford to just keep going after the price of oil went up. See, it gets all complicated. But with China coming in and giving us cheap labour, the labour obviously went over to China as well. There are 100,000 times more things being produced, but basically they're being produced over there. What we've got is a world workforce. And how are you going to have the UBI here and not there? The whole thing is just too much for any body to think about when they don't have to think about it. And they don't have to think about it because we've seen what's been happening. When push comes to shove, workers will offer their labour for less. We've seen it since 2009. Unemployment rates initially spiked, and then unemployment rates came down because the price of labour came down. And individual survival will always make this happen. So if we're going to envisage anything, we can see more of cheap labour, which leads to using more of the human workforce, which means using less of the advanced robot AI workforce. That is going to definitely cause the necessity of unemployment and UBI. In other words, what we're actually seeing at the moment is people offering their labour less for less money, so the robots and the AI don't take over, so we don't need universal basic income. Not in a great breaky thing. Like, you won't be able to say as the 20-year-old, oh, I got just born into this and I don't want to work for 3 monies an hour because I can't afford this and that. They'll go, look, everyone else is doing it, you've got to do it. And that's how it'll be. There'll be none of this, oh, you poor darling, here's enough money to keep you going. Because the rest of the people, the common people, will have edged their labour rates down. And the government will try and keep them up with minimum wage requirements, but there'll be which will mean that the advancement that we could have from computers, robots, AI will not ever come in because the people will always offer their labour cheaper. So UBI will never actually be necessary. It just means life will be shit for most everyone. But that's more what we know from thousands of years of experience than the whole idea of, oh, robots will do it and they'll create money and we'll just evenly divide the money out and life will be fine. No chance of that at all.